Welcome to Facts Pro, where it's all about facts, financial, accounting, and tax strategies. Today's topic is another time-sensitive topic, which relates to our tax season and the upcoming March 16 deadline, only 6 days from now. What do we need to do? Business owners, listen up because that's really for you. I'm gonna share my screen and we'll start digging in. And as you know, just to lighten things up, I'd like always to start with a joke. And the joke is about being smoking not from cigarettes, but from being burned with everything related to taxes. Okay, so what are the critical tax deadline, what you need to know and what you need to do sooner than later? First, who must file by March 16? First of all, as corporations, you need to file your 1120S by March 16. Partnership Form 1065 is due by March 16. Multi-member LLCs taxed as partnerships are due by March 16. Any LLCs that are electing as corporation status, that's also the deadline. So if you're a single member LLC, or even if you're like your regular LLC and you're changing the status, how to be elected and how to be treated, this is the deadline. March 16 is really the deadline. If you've been in the past as an LLC and you want to change this for 2026, that's the deadline to do it. And we also mentioned last week the PTET deadline if you want to elect the pass-through entity tax on the state level. This is also the deadline for most of the states. Okay, so these are the people who need to file. Why? Because it's a 1 month before the individual tax deadline. So the IRS said, okay, these are all pass-through entities, and meaning that the corporation or the partnership or that LLC doesn't have to pay taxes on its own level. It passes through the income to the individual members or partners or owners that have to pay taxes on behalf of the entity. So they give it 1 month. You file the business tax return by March 16, and then you have a 1 month to take that income or profit to report on your individual tax return by April 15. Make sense? Okay, so what you need to take is really the K1 form. So if you're a partner or if you're a shareholder of another corporation and it's not like 100% ownership, you need to ask them for the K1 to file your own personal tax return. You can't file your personal tax return without having this form that shows how much is your portion of that profit or loss. The real deadline is March 15, but since it falls on Sunday this year, it becomes March 16, Monday. It's just one day. Okay, the next business day, which is March 16, this Monday. Okay, so what are the required forms? As we said, as corporations, you file Form 1120S and you give a Schedule K1 for each shareholder. Partnership, you file Form 1065 and you also give a Schedule K1 for each partner. Okay, Schedule K1 deadline, you must provide your K1 to all shareholders and partners by March 16 to give them enough time to file their personal tax returns by April 15. What is the K1? It shows each owner's share of income, deductions, credits. Owners need this for April 15 personal deadline. Late K1 delays the owner personal tax filing. So if you're on extension for business purposes, it makes sense that you also put your personal on extension, unless you can handle both before April 15. Okay. The penalty for late filing, and I'm not talking about filing an extension, I'm talking about not filing at all. The penalty is like 255 per owner per month, and 1 day counts as 1 month. So the penalty applies even if there is no tax due whatsoever, and it charged for each month or part of a month that is late. And the maximum is 12 months of penalties. An example for that, if you are a married couple, own S corporation together, so 50-50 ownership, you filed 1 day late, you filed March 17, then you're subject to a penalty of 510, which is like for both of you because it's per owner. And even just 1 day, it counts as a full month. So whether it's a full month or a part of is the same penalty. So you want to avoid that. You want to be on time. If you need more time, then you file an extension. The Form 7004 requests 6-month extension. It must be filed by the deadline by March 16, and it extends the filing deadline to September 15. It gives you 6 months. And as we always say, it's an extension to file, not to pay any taxes owed. So sometimes with the states, there are like taxes due on the state level or annual fee. You have to pay those by the extension deadline. And same thing on your personal side. To pay your income and your share of taxes on this profit or losses or deduction that you took from the business, you have to do that by the original deadline, not by the extended deadline. An extension to file is not equal to an extension to pay. Okay, physical year businesses. So if your business is not on a calendar year, meaning it doesn't end on December 31st, it has a different deadline, but it follows the same analogy. So you have to file by the 15th day of the third month after year end. So if you are a physical year that ends June 30, then you file by September 15, three and a half month after the deadline, the 15th day of the third month following your year end, and so on. And if you also need to find extension, it's going to be the same thing. 6 months from your due date, in this case, September 15th. All right. So your action checklist, gather all your 2025 financial records now. You need to reconcile your QuickBooks or accounting software to make sure that you're accounting for everything. You need to contact your CPA if you haven't already, and you need to decide whether you want to file by March 16 final or you request an extension. Just a note to leave it here. Mailing changed for 2026. Now USPS no longer guarantees same day postmark. You need, if it's a mailbox drop, it may be postmarked after the deadline. So the solution is really to visit the post office. Don't just leave it there and ask for certified mail. But really, really, the best option, and it's mandatory now, is to e-file for instant confirmation unless there is an exception. So e-filing gives you instant confirmation of timely filing. There's no postmark concerns. It's faster processed by the IRS, and there are fewer errors with built-in validation in the softwares and all that. So really, really go for e-filing. Don't wait until the last minute. There are only 6 days left until the deadline, and contact your tax professional today if you haven't already. If you have any questions, please reach out. This is my calendar. If you don't know whether to file or not, because I just had a 30-minute conversation with a client yesterday talking about their tax situation, and they thought they have a single member LLC, and all of a sudden when we talking at the end, he was like, no, we file an S corp. So you really need to know whether it's an LLC elected to be treated as an S corp. If you are in doubt, if you don't know the answer, please reach out and I can help you. All right. Thank you so much. Hope you have everything in order for the deadline, to be in compliance and to start planning for the year ahead. All right. See you next week. Take care.